Hello, my name is Jeff Kistler, Product Manager for DRA and AD Bridge, and today I wanted to demonstrate how you can integrate DRA into AD Bridge. So as you already know as a DRA customer, the power that DRA offers with respect to managing Active Directory, object and access with the delegated controls of active use. But how do we extend that capability to be able to have insight and control with the Linux and Unix devices today? With the integration of AD Bridge, you now have the ability to join Linux and Unix devices, both on-premise and within the cloud, into Active Directory, where those objects will receive first-class citizen rights, such as leveraging Active Directory authentication and authorization, as well as being able to accept group policies that are configured from Active Directory. So having said that, how do we leverage DRA to gain insight into those Linux and Unix devices? And how do we delegate access and control with those devices? So let's walk through a scenario that we've installed AD Bridge in our Active Directory enterprise, and we need to build delegation and control around those objects. So using DRA's Active View methodology, I've created a Linux management Active View, and I've extended control so that these specific objects, in this case the Linux devices, within a specific OU, in this case my Linux server OU within my enterprise, are where all my Linux servers reside. So once I've built that Active View, I've assigned specific users within DRA the ability to manage and control those objects so that they only see objects, in this case the Linux objects, within Active when they log on to DRA. So they won't see any other computer objects within AD because I've assigned the Active View methodology to these specific users in DRA. Not only that, I've created controls so that they only have specific powers with those objects, to include being able to add users to a security group that have the ability to log on to those Linux devices, regardless if those devices reside on-premise or within the cloud, such as AWS, Azure, or Google, and any other cloud provider that you may be using today. So once we've built the delegation model and assigned the assistant admins within DRA that have the ability to view those objects, we can walk through a scenario where a specific user needs access into a Red Hat machine in my environment. So I've installed AD Bridge on this Red Hat machine, and Jeff Snowstorm needs the ability to access and log on to that machine to perform some daily duties. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect to that machine and attempt to log on as Jeff to this Linux device. So as you notice, I'm using my AD credentials because part of the power of AD Bridge is that we have the ability to leverage an AD credential and not a local administrator account. So as you'll notice here that I don't have the rights to log on to this particular Linux box because I'm not in the right security group. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, you have the power to decide which users have access to log on to those Linux devices, and that's via a group policy object. In this case here, I've opened up the GP editor, and I've determined that anybody that's a member of this particular security group has the ability to log on to this particular Red Hat machine. So let's log on to the DRA admin, who has the ability to control access and control management of this particular Linux device. So in this case, Bruce Snow is a DRA user that's been delegated access to control authorization and access into this particular Red Hat machine. So as I mentioned a second ago, group membership is what's controlling access to log on to that machine. So Jeff Snowstorm was not a member of that Red Hat Access group. So we're simply going to add Jeff to that group. And it looks like it was able to update that group successfully. And now Jeff is a member of that access group. So we're simply going to reattempt to log on to that Red Hat machine, leveraging our AD credentials. So I'm going to log on here. And what you'll notice here is when we put Jeff's password in correctly, we now have the ability to log on to this Red Hat machine using my AD credentials. And all of this was done with the integration power of DRA and AD Bridge, being able to delegate access and assign administrators within DRA, where we can determine who has the ability to add users to the security groups within Active Directory that have access to log on to those Linux machines. We also, with the power of DRA, have the ability to view who made the changes to those groups. And that's all done by logging via DRA. So we can really look here at an event log and we can see that Bruce added Jeff to this group. So we've got insight and auditing visibility in place today with the integration of DRA and AD Bridge, being able to determine who has the power to add users to those respective security groups that we've specified via group policy objects. With DRA, we can also assign and update UIDs and GIDs when the Active Directory user logs on to those Linux and UNIX devices. And quickly customizing DRA, you have the ability to update the UIDs and GIDs so that when they log onto those devices, the proper permissions are applied based on UIDs and GIDs. So I hope I've demonstrated to you the value and simplification of the integration of DRA and AD Bridge. Thank you for your time today and have a great day.